l'alba vincerò, vincerò,
Nessun Dorma from the opera Turandot. I will conquer, I will conquer. Welcome to Healthy Vision, the talk radio show that helps you conquer your vision loss. Dr. Edward Kondrot is a board-certified ophthalmologist and homeopathic doctor, author of 7 best-selling books. Healthy Vision is dedicated to bring you the latest information for a lifetime of healthy sight and to help you conquer your eye problems. And now your host, Dr. Edward Kondrot.
So we can get started. We can get started early if you folks have some questions.
Yeah, I looked over the information that was sent from Chris, and I had a couple of questions about the machine. Is included in the cost of the program, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the most expensive item, the machine. The machine's probably about $3,000. And you have 10 protocols on the machine. I write or design 5 for you based on your eye problem, and you can select 5 elective protocols. You know, arthritis, digestion, thyroid, diabetes. There's a whole list of different protocols.
Okay. Is it a portable machine? In other words, if we're traveling, can it come with
Very
us?
portable.
Okay.
This is it right here.
Okay.
In fact, I travel with it everywhere. I took it to Togo, Africa, and they grabbed my bag to do a double inspection. And I thought they saw the machine. I thought there was all kind of questions. What is this? They might be a bomb or something. But anyway, they didn't even ask me about that, the machine. They were just checking some of the wires. So I travel everywhere with it and take it right through security and never had a problem.
Okay, good. Good.
And that's what I like about it. It's portable. So it's easy to, put in your purse or whatever. You can take it with you. So that's one of the things I like about it. In fact, I've been having some cramps in my legs, and I've been doing the microcurrent every night. Don't rub your eye. It's bad for you. I saw you had.
Yeah, they've been itchy recently. I don't know what's going on.
Use the ozone. The ozone eye drops are wonderful.
Okay.
You got a question?
Okay, Henry's joining. Hello, Henry. I can't see you, but that's all right. And John, people are starting to. So as many of you know, I just got back from Togo, Africa. I was there for a week during doing an eye surgery mission. So what I want to do is let me share some pictures with you from my trip. Let's see here. Can you see this young girl here? She's 6 years old. She has severe crossed eyes, and she was born that way. And unfortunately, in Togo, they practice voodoo. And they look at her as being possessed by the devil. Yeah. She'll never get married. She'll never get a job. I mean, her life is like condemned. So I promised the family I'm going to go back in April. And my goal is to fix her eyes, to make her eyes straight. It's about a 20 to 30-minute operation to make her eyes straight, to change her life. She's such a cute little girl. And this is the typical case that we see. See how bad these cataracts are?
Yeah.
This guy was totally blind. I mean, he couldn't see even hands in front of him. And we did both his eyes. And the day after surgery, he was able to read the bottom line on the eye chart. So,
wow.
We changed his life. This is the kind of severe problems that we have. And there's me with two African doctors. We're also teaching the African doctors how to do surgery.
See this one?
No. And the people dress up. Look at these outfits. When they
Wow.
come to the doctor, they dress up. I mean, they're really wearing their best clothes. It's like an event to go to the doctor. You know, here in the US, people go to the doctors that are in their sweats and t-shirts,
pajamas.
and pajamas. They don't care. And then here's me operating, and see that beautiful woman next to me? That's my wife. And that's the only time she ever listened to me. Normally she doesn't listen to me, but I'm the surgeon. She had to listen to me. Other times she's giving me orders. So I enjoyed it because she had to take orders from me. All right.
Doctor, can you see me now?
Henry, I can see you.
Okay, great.
You have a nice smile. And John, I can't see you, John.
This is Mariano, my son. Good afternoon.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you?
Good.
That's good.
I have a question about the light.
Who's talking?
That's Jean and I.
Oh, Jane. Okay,
Yeah.
That's not really you. That's a picture of you. Huh?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I was going to say you're awful stiff and you're not moving. Oh, there
Oh,
you
there
are.
I am. Okay.
That's better.
Yeah.
I like to see who I'm talking to.
Okay, I'm just not used to this program very much. Okay, so I was wondering about the light therapy. The light that I got with the package is it's a 15 amp light for an appliance. Have I got the right light?
Yeah, you want a low wattage. We like
Okay.
to normally have like 10 to 15, maximum 25, but you don't want to get like 100-watt bulb. It's just a gentle illumination.
So it doesn't, like, I thought it would be a special type of light or something. I didn't realize it was just going to be an ordinary bulb.
An ordinary bulb. Usually it's a incandescent light bulb.
Will work for you. Okay.
Okay, it just says it's an appliance bulb. That's all it says on it.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, all right, that's what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
One day I accidentally forgot to put the glasses on and went through the whole 10 minutes with my regular glasses on. Is that going to hurt me?
No, not really, but because the light bulb isn't that bright, but
No.
I don't think it's going to cause any damage. If you were looking at maybe a 100-watt light bulb, you would know.
Yeah. Okay.
We just want gentle stimulation to the eye. And the light therapy is very powerful too, because it's, those photons are going right into your eye and they're stimulating.
So what exactly is it doing?
That's a good question. You know all about plants. Plants have chlorophyll.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't for sunlight, plants would die. In other words, the ultraviolet light hits a plant, the chlorophyll absorbs the energy and the plants grow. In humans, we have something called hemoglobin. You've heard of hemoglobin.
Yeah. Mhm.
If I would show you a hemoglobin molecule and a chlorophyll molecule, put them side by side, you'd say, Dr. Kondrot, they're identical. So in other words, our bodies have a lot of similarities to plants. Our blood needs the light. So the hemoglobin molecule is identical to the chlorophyll, except the hemoglobin molecule has an iron molecule in the center. Chlorophyll has magnesium. That's the only difference. So when you're doing the syntonics, the hemoglobin is absorbing that photon, energizing your body, helping your body regenerate and heal.
Okay.
So it's actually a very powerful treatment. Also, the light therapy balances your autonomic nervous system. And I'm a firm believer that the body will not heal if you're not in a balanced state. You know, when you're under stress, your body's not going to heal. So light therapy is really good for that.
Okay. Does it help with the scar tissue, or is that the microcurrent that's working on
The
that?
microcurrent. But actually, you're part of the wrong group. This group is people that are not in the program. If you're in the program, we have another meeting.
I tried to get into that meeting, but I'm not able to.
You probably have the wrong link, or talk to Chris about that. But the group here are people that aren't doing the microcurrent or the light therapy. These are people that are just interested in it. So you're in the wrong group.
Yeah, that's what I thought
about,
when I read your when I got the invitation to go to this meeting. I thought, well, this seems like the wrong group, but I couldn't find
it is
an
the wrong
invitation.
group.
I couldn't find an invitation to the other group.
Okay, well, make sure Chris gives you the right invitation.
Okay, well, I did mention that
Because we meet, you know, when you're part of my program, we meet twice a month.
right.
And also Chris meets with everybody every week.
Yes, I have been meeting with Chris on Wednesday.
So that's part of the advantage of joining my program. You get to, you know, you have a meeting with me twice a month, and you meet with Chris once a week to make sure you're doing everything right. But you're at the wrong place, but you're still welcome to stay.
Okay.
Just as long as you don't make any noise and you don't cause a disturbance.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes, who's talking?
It's Mariano, Henry's son.
Mariano, hi.
I had a quick question because we are both very interested, me and my parents, in your treatment you have going on.
Electrical treatment?
The electrical treatment, I think, is what my dad was telling me and stuff. So I got diagnosed with Elholm, Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know if that will help me, or at least
we'll try
do something towards my vision.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunately, you talk to the regular eye doctor, and there's no treatment for the Leber's optic neuropathy. But I believe that, you know, we can do things to help stimulate the body to heal and to prevent the eye from degrading. And the microcurrent does that, the light therapy and homeopathy. So I think these measures can be what I've learned over the years, that, you know, you have good genes and bad genes. Obviously, you got this condition because you have bad genes. It's a hereditary problem.
Correct.
And scientists and researchers have found that there's ways to turn off the bad genes and turn on the good genes. So in other words, like if everybody in your family has diabetes and you say, well, there's nothing I can do, I'm going to get diabetes, I might as well, you know, but that's false. There are things that you can do to turn off the bad genes and turn on the good genes. And so microcurrent is one of them, the light therapy, the homeopathy, all these things, we're going to try to turn off those bad genes and turn on the good genes. So you'll have vision for a long period in your life, and slow the whole process, if not stop it.
Mm-hmm.
No, what else do you need to know? Where do you find more info?
So
How do you get started?
So with Elholm and like with my diagnosis, like how do we get like started, or how do we?
Well, I would talk to Chris. The first step that I did, have I reviewed your records? The first step is that you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did. I sent it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'll review your records, and we'll let you know, you know, if you're a good candidate, and, you know, we'll even make you some recommendations before you even join the program. And then once you talk to Chris about that, then I'll
bullshit.
I'll write or develop a machine specifically for your eye problems. We program a machine based on certain frequencies that you need. Then we'll get you started on the program.
Is there a video we can see how that works?
Is there a video? Is there a video or any
Oh, yeah,
Any
talk to
tabs?
Chris. We have, you go to my, oh, here. Let me show you here right now. Let me do this.
My dad would be better because I see you on the top left, but
Okay, here,
it's
let
just more
me,
of motion and black and white. Yeah.
I'm gonna show, this is for everybody on the group meeting here. Let me just do this here. I'm gonna do a share screen, okay?
Perfect.
And I'll show you exactly where to go. Okay, you see the screen?
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
This is my website, healingtheeye.com. And right here, see, new to this site.
Okay.
This is where you want to click. You can also download my book.
Yeah, we did already.
Okay, good. And here, this is all the mission work that I do. You know, I don't get paid for it. This organization is a nonprofit, so all the money that you donate, 100% of it goes towards the mission work. So if you do want to help us on our mission cause, click here and donate. Okay, so click here. I'm going to do that. New to this site. Now, you can listen to my 10 Essentials webinar. There's a link right here. This goes over everything in the book is on this webinar. Most people don't have time, or maybe you have bad vision, you can't read the book, so you can listen to the webinar. It goes everything. This is find out more about your condition. I have a webinar on cataracts, glaucoma, wet macular degeneration, laser treatments. I don't have anything about Leber's hereditary disease here. Then this is a webinar or video on microcurrent, all about microcurrent.
Got it.
How it works, how it was developed, the studies that have been done. This is one on homeopathy. These are on ozone, light therapy. You have to excuse me, I just caught a cold. I think it was all the traveling.
You want a slice of pie.
Detox and chelation.
Get the pie you like.
Okay, now there's also a place here.
Get one to share with you if you want.
People want to know
Yeah.
about studies.
I like
See
the
this
lime
right
and I
here?
like the chocolate.
Okay, somebody's talking about pies.
Sorry,
If you
sorry.
could- And you could mute yourself. You're making
I'm sorry,
everybody
I
else
meant to mute.
hungry.
Doctor, have you ever had a patient with levers that had used the electrocurrent treatment and gotten any better?
Years ago, I had one patient and they responded very favorably early on, but I don't know what's going on with the patient. I haven't had a follow-up.
I heard that you guys sent us the equipment and we use it. How often do we need to use this?
You'll be using it every day.
Every day. For how long?
It's a treatment that you use on your eye. Well, it's kind of like exercise.
Right.
You know, you do it every day. It's not like, well, the other analogy is when a woman goes and buys wrinkle cream in the store and she goes, how long am I going to have to use this? And the clerk's
Correct.
going to say, well, you know, you're getting older. You're going to have to use it every day.
Right.
So it's not to cure it. It's not like, oh, you do 1 or 2 treatments and your eye's perfect and you don't need it anymore. We're trying to do everything we can to slow that process.
Well, because
But let me just go over this right here. If you click here, you may have missed it here. This is all about scientific studies that I have published. I was a co-author of a book on visual rehabilitation. This is all about microcurrent. These are some articles here that have been published on some of my research and work, and you can click here to get more. So go to the website. These are all the important pieces here. Also, if you go to Kondrot YouTube.com, this is my YouTube station.
Right.
And I have all kind of videos here. I think if you look at the playlist, you can search it here. You name it. There's something here. I think I have about 500 different videos. You can go in here and search.
Doctor, question. Have you ever heard of a clinic in Berlin called Fedorov that they offer some, it's the same type of treatment, electrical treatment that they offer?
It's a little bit different than what I'm doing. He's doing more stimulation of the brain, the Fedorov, but the equipment's very similar. I don't think you have to, go all the way to Germany to get this.
Got it.
I tried to make it a little bit more affordable. In fact, I like to empower patients. Before COVID, the only program we had is you had to go to Florida and be with me for a week. It was a year program. And that program was up to maybe $20,000 a year for everything.
Right.
So when COVID hit, we began doing it online, and we wanted to greatly reduce the cost to make it more affordable. And it's worked out very well.
Right. So the treatment is the same. So we don't have to travel. We don't have to go that far.
Yeah, you don't have to come to the office. In fact, now everything's online.
I'm saying, like you mentioned, that we don't have, because we were considering before we met your site, that we were planning to go to Berlin. So, but I said, wait a minute, I think it's the same thing. So now that you mention it, I don't think we have to go that far.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big expense to go to Berlin. I mean,
Yeah.
the airfare itself is the cost of the program. You're going to spend about $5 or $6 grand to fly, 2 people to Berlin.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I think that my program is a little bit more comprehensive, because not only do we do the microcurrent, we also do light therapy, we do homeopathy, we do heavy metal testing for toxins in your body, and we also do nutritional therapy. So all these things, I think, work synergistically.
Right. And when we heard about them, they say that, we need to be there for 2 weeks. It's a 2-week treatment, but then you have to go and do a follow-up. Like, wait a minute, you got to go back and do a follow-up. So, like, no,
Yeah.
that's not going to work for us.
Yeah, so I think it would be a good first choice for you to. I think we can help you. I'd have to take a look at your records, but certainly all these things help to stimulate the body to heal. And like I said, we're trying to turn off the bad genes and turn on the good genes.
Excellent.
So is this program a 1-year program with follow-ups?
What we changed it. We made it, in order to keep the cost down, it's a 3-month program.
3 months, okay.
And the reason why we do this, I used to do a year program, and most of the patients, I didn't hear from them after 3 months. I'd call them up. Well, how you doing? I'm doing great. And so they didn't really need to follow up. So we decided we'll have a 3-month program. And for the maybe 10 to 20% that maybe don't respond like we want them to, they may want to extend it another year. So we want to keep the cost down. That's why it's only 3 months.
Okay.
But you do have the opportunity to extend it. And as I mentioned to Jean, when you join the program, I meet with you twice a month. We have a meeting like this, but this meeting is for people who are just interested. They want to find out more, but we have a meeting twice a month for people that are in the program. They have questions, this light's blinking and I feel this, what can I do?
I just have to figure out how to get into those.
Yeah. So that works out really well. Then Chris has a meeting once a week.
Yeah, I go to that
she's
one.
really great. Chris used to be involved when we had patients come to Florida for a week. So she's used to the program, teaching people. And she has a meeting once a week, which is you can meet with her if you have questions. So it's not just, we give you equipment and say good luck. You're kind of like part of our family.
Mm.
And we also, once a month, we have a prayer group. Those of you that are Christian and, you believe in prayer, we get together once a month. In fact, this Sunday, that's tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern time, we have a prayer meeting. I believe in the power of prayer. And even if you're not in the program, you're welcome to join. You don't have to be a patient of mine. That's just for people that are having vision problems.
So how do you get to that meeting?
Well, you'll probably get on the wrong meeting, Gene. You really don't have much luck with meetings. Okay, it's real easy. Go to Prayer for Vision.
Okay.
Prayer for Vision.
Is it the
dot-
number 4 or is it FOR?
FOR, Prayers for Vision. Oh, let me just put that. I'll type it here. I'm going to go back to screen sharing.
Okay, Doctor, I'll let you go. We won't have another meeting, but I'll contact Chris on Monday then, and we'll follow up with her, and I will continue from there.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Just give us a call, and I look forward to doing everything I can to help you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, take care. Thanks for joining.
Thank
So
you
I'm
for
going to
your
go
help.
Bye-bye.
prayers for vision.com. Okay. All one word. Let's see if it works. Here it is.
Good, thank you.
And you
Okay.
sign up for the meeting here.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can send us a prayer request, prayersforvision@gmail.
Okay.
We have people send in prayers all the time. And we put them on the list. So if you want to attend the meeting and you don't get the link, email us at info and I'll send you the link. So just info@Healing the Eye. Say, I'm trying to get the link for the meeting. I couldn't find it, or I don't know. This should immediately, you sign up for the meeting here and it sends you a link.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I went into a site that Chris gave me, and said to sign up in there, and I would get a link, and the only link I got was the one that to this meeting that we're on. So I don't know why I didn't get that link.
well, talk with
Anyway,
her.
I will. Yeah, I'll
And I
talk with her.
hope to see you tomorrow at 3:00.
Yeah, okay. 3 p.m., eh?
Mhm.
All right. That's very good. What about this ozone therapy that was on the list there, of things that are offered on this program? What is that?
Well, the ozone therapy is not part of the program. That's something extra.
Okay.
So the program consists of the microcurrent, the light therapy, nutritional support, the homeopathic remedy, and testing for heavy metals.
But I'm not available. That's not available to me because I'm in Canada.
Well, we can assume that you have heavy metal problem
Okay, just for being in Canada.
for being in Canada. Yeah. No, I'd say 90% of my patients, maybe 95% of them have heavy metals.
Yeah. Well, I've smoked for years, so I'm sure that I do.
Oh my goodness. If you smoke
Yeah.
for years, then I know you have it. And it's probably
Yeah.
off the chart.
Right. So
So
then
you
what
gotta
do I
get
do then about that?
Well, you have to get started on some chelation, and you can go to that site that I showed you. Are you new to this site? I have a couple articles on chelation, or talk to Chris.
Okay.
Judy, don't
Okay.
interfere with this program today.
Okay.
Judy?
Well,
Ellen, you
Yeah.
just joined. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. I wanted to ask about the chelation. Do you provide a chelation system in your 3-month program? Like
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so
I
you do,
recommend an oral product.
it's an oral product, and does it include like, binders and all that to make sure you don't reabsorb the,
And then we also have a rectal suppository. But the oral product has a lot of good other nutritional substance, and besides the EDTA chelation. I think it has some hawthorn, it has some zeolite and some other things to help detoxify the body.
okay, and
But it's part of the program, but not everybody is getting the chelation. Usually we begin everybody with the microcurrent, the light therapy, the homeopathy, nutrition, and we test you for heavy metals.
to see, but as you said, 90% or above.
90% above.
I grew up
And-
in a household where my father was a 2-pack a day smoker from infancy onward. So
Mhm.
I'm guessing, and I had all sorts of, fillings, and then I had
And
them all
yeah.
removed over time.
And where do you live now?
I'm in the Bay Area, California.
Mhm. Okay.
I know I have MTBE, whatever that additive, gasoline additive, I have that because
Mhm.
but that was a blood test. They didn't do the urine test, and so
Mhm.
they didn't find a lot of heavy metals because the blood test, I don't think, from what I've read, is not
Well, you know
very
what? The blood
good.
test and urine test they're useless. You need to take a chelating agent. It's called a challenge test.
Ah,
Because if you do have lead, it's locked in your bone. It's locked
got
in
it.
your fat, your brain, and your eye.
Oh, okay.
You could be dying of lead poisoning and your blood and urine will be normal.
Thank you.
So
That's
you
what,
got to take a chelating agent,
okay.
and then you'll see what the lead is.
That makes sense. All right. Okay.
And most of the top doctors that are doing this, the challenge test is mandatory. The traditional medicine, they just do a routine blood test or urine test. The only way that'll show you have lead if you're actively exposed.
Oh, and if you have it in the past, it wouldn't show it then.
Yeah, if like you're living in a home that has paint or your water's poisoned or,
Okay.
it'll show. But most people, we grew up at a time with leaded paint, leaded pencils,
Oh, yeah. I'm
leaded
30,
gasoline.
I'm 72 years old, so definitely. And then what about mercury? I probably have tons of that.
Yeah, mercury's too is a culprit.
Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to ask you about the micro stimulation, because I have been using a machine. I don't think it's what you have, but it's you moisten these pads and you put it over your eyes, and it's like maybe a machine that's been around for a while. I don't know what it's called, but maybe the original one. Is that similar to
Well,
what you
early
have?
on, I know the machine you're talking about.
Oh,
Early
okay,
on,
so
we
you
were
do.
using a machine. In fact, go to my talk on microcurrent. I review the history of the microcurrent machines.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
But
that's
here's
the one
something
I'm
else.
using.
Here's something else kind of interesting. That eye doctors, in the 1800s and early 1900s were using microcurrent to treat eye problems.
Really? And then they stopped. Why?
Well, a lot of good things stopped when Big Pharma
Oh, well, there you
started
go.
controlling everything.
Okay, that explains it
That's
right there.
Enough said.
Enough said.
But
Got
anyway,
it.
these older machines, there was a couple of problems with them. One, it's a current adjust machine. I don't know, can you adjust the current on your machine?
No, it's just preset. It's a preset current, and
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
macular degeneration, which is what
Mhm.
I have.
And then the older machines just had maybe one or two frequencies.
Well, this one has 4 different frequencies. It cycles through 4 frequencies.
Right. I think it's 3 hertz, 9, 31, and 292. It's like 4, like you said, 4 frequencies.
4 different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The machines that we're using now are frequency specific. We identified certain frequencies that actually resonate with certain parts of the eye. Kind of
Okay.
like a C-sharp tuning fork, and
Gotcha.
another C-sharp, it'll vibrate, resonate.
Right, right.
And we want the frequencies to resonate, you get a better effect. It's called frequency specific. In fact, we've done research to identify certain frequencies that actually stimulate stem cells, frequencies that stimulate cells for rejuvenation. And I'm working with a company in California called iCell, EYECELL. The guy that owns the company is Howard Leonhardt, and he's taking my frequencies and they're trying to bring it to market to get it approved by the FDA.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, but it's not going to be awesome for you because the machine right now is maybe 3,000. If the FDA approves it, it'll be like 50,000.
Of course. And then you'll have to get it through medicine, through insurance.
Right.
It won't be covered or all that.
Yeah. So, but I think it's unlikely because Big Pharma does not want practical medicine.
Right. I mean, then it takes it out of what they can do.
They want you got to get your booster. You get your booster and it'll help your eyes.
Well, you know, but they
Get the fifth booster.
They offer nothing for dry macular degeneration, nothing.
Well, that's how I became interested in it. I was a busy ophthalmic surgeon, and I read an article that Sam Snead had his vision restored for macular degeneration. And I called up the company and I said, this is great. Send me 10 of these machines. And they sent me 10 machines, and I grabbed 10 people in my practice that had macular, and I treated them, and 7 out of 10 had an improvement of vision. And I said, I'm going to do this. I didn't wait for FDA approval and regulations. I just started doing it.
Yeah, of course.
And then I just said, my goodness, this is helping so many people.
Well, all right. I have very advanced dry macular degeneration. I don't have wet. So they're like, well, there's nothing we can do, nothing you can do. Take these AREDs. And I'm like,
well, AREDs, there was a study done that showed that AREDs do absolutely nothing.
I've seen that study.
And people who actually take AREDs have a lower life expectancy.
Woohoo.
I took them for years. Oh,
Anyway,
Yeah.
Did you know macular degeneration did not exist before 1920?
I was reading about that, and it didn't exist in Japan, and now it does because they're eating our stupid diet.
Well, the diet are the seed oils.
Yeah, I know.
In 1920, I think it was 1915, margarine was introduced in Crisco. They're the two culprits. Before then, people were using butter and lard.
And yeah, I grew up with my mother using margarine for everything.
And margarine is horrible. Margarine,
It is.
the seed oils, there's been research done by Dr. Chris Kenobi. He's written a couple of books, and I believe his work. Seed oils are the culprits. And anything that has a label on it, you probably shouldn't eat it. I tell my patients, if it has a label on it, don't eat it. Throw it away. We're poisoning our body. I think it should be called diet-related macular degeneration.
I think so too.
Nothing to do with age, except for Jean. She was a big smoker.
Yeah.
Well, what about
my mother? My mother.
You're in the wrong group, Jean. So I'm going to make fun of you.
Yeah. Okay.
What about animal
Go for
products? I mean, like animal fat. Is that a problem?
It's funny. It's Dr. Kenobi feels you should cook with lard. Lard is better than margarine or seed oils.
Well, yeah, but it might not be good. It may be less bad. I mean, here's the thing,
Well, here's the other thing about the cholesterol myth. Cholesterol is good for you. Cholesterol has nothing to do with heart disease. That's another misconception.
Well, what about ApoB? I mean, isn't that related to heart disease, ApoB, which isn't cholesterol per se, but it's the particles that carry the cholesterol or something. I'm not sure.
You got me on that. I'm an eye doctor.
Okay.
Dr.
Anne, you have another question?
So ever since I suffered from COVID last January, I had 2 retinal vitriol hemorrhages.
Yeah, definitely related to the COVID.
Yeah, and so would the microcurrent machine help it, do you think?
Have I looked at your records?
I believe Chris sent you the last visit I had, but I've had some other stuff going on since then, which is when I'm reading and looking either at a book or computer, I'm losing letters.
Mhm.
And that's related to the macular degeneration, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Well,
the
see, microcurrent definitely, it reduces inflammation. It helps improve the circulation.
okay,
Just, you may have heard that if you're healthy, you're alkaline. You've heard that.
yeah,
And if you're sick and you have a disease, you're acidic.
right,
Well, essentially, microcurrent, we're putting electrons into your body, making you more alkaline. That
okay,
in itself is going to help. And then the frequencies for improving circulation, oxygenation, stimulating stem cells, and all this stuff has been documented. You look in, Google, there's study after study to show that microcurrent does these things.
okay.
But you ask the average eye doctor, and he'll go, "Well, if it worked, I'd hear about it." The only thing I hear about it, everybody should get the COVID shot and get a booster.
Every
That's
time I
all they
go to
hear.
the eye doctor for a visit, he's annoyed with me that I'm not following the protocol for the injections.
Oh yeah, that's how they're making money. They're making a couple $1,000s per shot. I'd want you to
Yeah.
follow that protocol too.
Well, are the injections bad for you?
They're horrible. They don't do a damn thing.
They're an anti-cancer drug.
Well, put it this way, there was one study done, a 5-year study. It was called the CAT study, and I call it the cat's out of the bag. A 5-year study. People that got injections religiously. At the end of the 5 years, nobody had an improvement of vision.
Wow.
Really?
And you know what the doctor said? Oh, it just shows that they need more injections. That's the logic they have.
Oh,
They didn't get
no.
enough.
No. That's
Now,
so bad.
the injections do work early on. Maybe the first couple of months, they may help.
And that's it.
Also, another study was done. 75% of people that get injections will develop retinal atrophy. 75% will develop retinal atrophy after 2 years.
Mhm.
What's atrophy? Well, your retina is sick, it dies, and it shrivels up. That's atrophy.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. Medicine no longer exists.
No.
It's scary. Medicine no longer exists. It's run by big pharma and the government. Doctors have no say. Thank God, I'm happy I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm kind of free to do what it's horrible. I mean, a lot of eye doctors have the best interest. They believe the garbage studies that are written. There was a researcher, a statistician, Matthias Desmet, I think he's a Belgian. He did a research looking at all the articles that are written. He said 85% of medical articles that are published are garbage. They can't be reproduced.
Yeah.
Well, no, if it's not reproducible, then it's not, it has very little meaning.
And the other thing that upsets me is people talk about evidence-based medicine. Evidence-based medicine does not exist because 25% of articles that they're quoting now for evidence-based medicine would be disproven in a couple of years. 25%, that's a high percentage of these
So
evidence-based articles.
it's just working hypotheses, and they keep
Mhm.
improving. It's not, a static, like this is it. But I wanted to ask you about diet and nutrition. You said, of course, obviously no processed food, because if it has a label, blah, blah, you don't use it. But you would be talking about just whole foods then, right? Basically whole
Well,
foods.
organic, natural foods. I'm
Yeah,
a big
because-
advocate of organic, natural.
Okay.
I talk about my 70-30 diet, that 70% of what you eat should be organic, raw foods. Keep yourself well hydrated. Hydration is critical.
Is this on
It's
your
okay to
website?
eat meat. It's okay to eat meat and fish or chicken. I have no problem, but always get, range fed beef and, nothing that's been jacked up with hormones and antibiotics and,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah,
We're
not
poisoning ourselves with the food that we eat.
not agribusiness animals. Well, the other thing too, glyphosate now, what I've learned is if it's conventional, not organic,
It's everywhere.
all our grains and all our legumes are sprayed with glyphosate before harvest, so they all dry at the same rate and they can harvest them all at once instead of waiting for them to come to fruition. So they use it. Every kind of bean you're going to eat, every kind of grain or flour you're going to eat. If it's conventional, you're eating Roundup.
Right.
And it kills your microbiome and it dysregulates everything and it messes with your mitochondria, everything.
It's interesting because I can't tolerate any bread in the US, but when I travel in Europe or I go to Africa, I can tolerate the bread. They
See, and
just
it's
don't
not
have,
gluten intolerance, it's
No,
glyphosate
it's
intolerance.
the glyphosate, exactly.
Yeah,
You're right.
and a lot of European countries won't buy our wheat or our and our products
Mhm.
because they're all poisoned with Roundup in the harvesting
Mm-hmm.
process. I mean, not fruits and vegetables, they have pesticides put on them, but glyphosate is and it kills all the worms in the soil. It makes the soil dead.
Yeah, the soil is sterile.
And then they have to
I
put
read a really
nitrogen in.
interesting book. It's called Topsoil and Civilization.
Oh,
That
yes.
all the great civilizations had good topsoil. Once the
Yeah.
topsoil declined, so did the civilization. You may think
Yeah.
that's kind of funny, but if you
Yeah.
look at the fall of the Roman Empire, the Tigris Euphrates, the Egyptian, all these amazing cultures that lasted for thousands of years, as soon as their topsoil degraded,
That was the
that's
end.
what we're doing.
Well,
It's
that's
the
what's
end of
happening.
us too.
We're killing all our fertile soil, and now they have to artificially put nitrogen into it, which of course is only nitrogen. That's all. But it doesn't have the substrate, it doesn't have the fungi, it doesn't have the worms, it doesn't have any of the stuff they need to make a soil a
Oh
living
yeah,
thing.
when you look at good healthy topsoil, because I love gardening and I have a compost pile, and when you have good healthy topsoil, it's a joy to work with.
It's alive. It's
There's
alive.
worms, it's alive, and
Exactly.
everything grows. And
So yeah, that's what I mean. And I'm doing that. I'm doing organic, but I just found out that okay, if you get organic food that's been imported, I was hearing about someone who knows a farmer in Mexico.
oh, I hope you don't shop at Whole Foods. You're a California girl. I bet you shop at Whole Foods.
Occasionally, but I usually shop at a local smaller.
Oh, they're so corrupt.
place.
Whole Foods is so corrupt.
But if you get imported organic food, the problem is they may raise it organic, but as soon as it crosses the border to come into
Exactly.
the US,
They
they
spray it.
spray it with Roundup.
Mhm.
And it still says on the package organically grown because it
Yeah,
was
my friend
grown.
calls them Monsatan,
Yeah,
not
they
Monsanto, Monsatan.
I agree. They spray it when it comes into the country, but they keep the organic label on it, even though they poisoned it with Roundup.
Okay,
So
this
it's
is
not
enough
grown.
depressing
Sorry.
talk about the food.
But
We
we
got
have to.
some
That's why
people
we
have
need
some
to be so
questions about the
careful.
eye.
Sorry.
Now that
So-
you raised our spirits, okay?
All right, what can we do about it? That's
I'm
what
gonna
we have to
put you
talk
and
about.
Jean. You and Jean are gonna be in the back of the room.
Okay.
So what we should do is contact Chris to set up ourselves with the program.
Get set up with the program, and once you're approved, we'll set up a consultation. You'll spend an hour or so with me, and I'll review things, take your homeopathic case. I love homeopathy. I did all my training in homeopathy in San Francisco, Albany and Berkeley. 4
Nice.
years I got my homeopathic degree.
Nice.
And homeopathy is, the ophthalmologists in the 1800s and early 1900s, they were all homeopaths. They practiced homeopathy. So something happened.
I'm a homeopath myself and an RN. I did my training through the British Institute.
Great place. Yeah.
Yeah, they're now in New Jersey, because they're no longer, Trevor Cook is no longer in England, but homeopathy alone, I don't think is going to help the issues I have. I think I need more than that. And it sounds like what you have in your program maybe.
Well, the problem with homeopathy, sometimes it's too slow and it's hard to get the right remedy. I know I was cured of my asthma with homeopathy. I mean, I was sick. I was inhaler, taking Theodore, Proventil, 3 medications, an inhaler, and all the medications caused me to have a tremor. And then before I went to surgery, I'd have to take a beta blocker to get rid of my tremor. And then I was wheezing during surgery. That was my life.
Yeah.
And I went to a homeopath, and if it was going to be a placebo effect, it should have worked then, because I said, this is going to definitely help. Nothing. The second remedy may be a little bit better, but the third remedy, like somebody turned a light switch.
Yeah.
No more asthma.
It's amazing to me to see how quickly it does work when you have the correct remedy.
Mhm.
That's what I find with.
That's what makes it tough. I would say, I'd say the majority of patients I treat have some benefit from homeopathy. I
Right.
like it when they say, I don't know what you gave me, Dr. Kondrot, but I've never felt so good about myself.
Right.
Imagine that, the feeling that you feel good about yourself. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That's fantastic.
But then I have miracles with homeopathy. Miracles. And that's what tells me I just got to work harder to get the right remedy. I know if you get the right remedy, you'll make a change.
Right. Okay. So I have another appointment for a follow-up with my eye doctor the first week of December. So
Well, make sure you get a copy of the records and send them to me.
yeah, because I have a feeling I have a cataract as well going on. Everything is cloudy, and I'm noticing colors on that, like pink. I can't see pinks and yellows the way I used to. So I think he should really check everything so that you
Well,
have.
everybody after the age of 60 starts to get an early cataract. That's a part of getting older, but not everybody needs surgery. I'm 73. I got cataracts, but I'm functioning fine. But every time I go to the eye doctor, they salivate. You better get them taken out now. They're just going to get harder. It's going to be tougher to operate. You better get them now.
Yeah, and so that's, I'm 3 or 4 years older than you are. But, it's gotten worse since the hemorrhage, so I'm not clear what's going on, if it's cataracts or hemorrhage, but they
Well,
did.
it's probably related to the same process. One thing I like about homeopathy, we look at the whole person. We don't look at individual parts. You go to the eye doctor, they give you something for your eye. Go to the heart doctor, they give you heart medicine. You go to the dermatologist, homeopathy, one remedy. We look at all the problems you're having is like a disturbance in your body. We got to take care of that disturbance. And of course, the light therapy and microcurrent, they actually help too with the disturbance. We're trying to get your body vibrating well.
Okay.
Everybody has, you reach a point where you're healthy and everything is going on well. And all of a sudden, you reach a point where you start to have changes in your body.
Right.
You start getting arthritis and this happens. And why is that? So there's an energetic change. And that's what we want to do. We want to try to stop it or change it.
So you said that there are 10 settings on the machine.
10 protocols.
Protocols. Okay.
Each protocol maybe has about 30 to 50 different frequencies. It's not just one frequency.
Okay.
We program in different frequency pairs to stimulate different parts of your area that we're treating.
So
Okay.
does that depend on what your specific issues are that you
Yeah,
hone in?
definitely. Like, for example, we don't have one eye program. I probably have about 30 different programs for macular degeneration, because some people have wet, some people have dry, some people have drusen, some people have scarring. So it's very specific to what's going on with you.
And how about bone, osteoporosis and.
There are some protocols for osteoporosis, and I think they work very well. I don't have that much experience with it, but I work with a lot of naturopathic doctors who use it.
Okay.
I know that it works really well for musculoskeletal problems. I mean, I did the, have you heard of the Camino de Santiago? It's a 500-mile pilgrimage, 500 miles. My
Yeah.
wife and I walked 500 miles in northern Spain. And thank God I had my microcurrent machine with me because I developed plantar fasciitis, calf pain. Every night I do microcurrent. And
Wow.
I woke up the next day and ready to go.
So the machine that, because I also have recently been diagnosed with osteoporosis, and so the machine that you use for the eyes, it can also be used for the skeletal system?
Yep. We have certain frequencies that stimulate bone regeneration. Now, I don't have that much experience with it. I just know a lot of naturopathic doctors use it.
That
But
same
these are
machine.
optional programs. So when you join the program, there's like 10 protocols on the machine. I developed 5 of them for your eye, detoxing, stress, and inflammation. And then you have 5 options. And the options are arthritis, osteoporosis, thyroid disease, adrenal, insomnia. Chris can send you a list.
Oh, because I've got most of those.
Well, you know, if you have most of them, that means there's something overall wrong with you.
Exactly, which is what I've
So
been trying
we
to get
need
down to the bottom of, rather than
so we
parts of
need
the
to
elephant.
treat Ellen. So you
Exactly.
treat a homeopath treats the person,
Okay.
not each individual. Of course, we look at each individual component. You know, diseases manifest in certain ways. You know, some people have more problems with their lungs. Some people have sinus problems. You know, when your body has a disturbance, you have certain problems. For me, it was my lungs and sinus. You know, whenever I'm under stress, it was my asthma and my sinuses. But the homeopathic remedy took care of that. I no longer have asthma. That was like 25 years ago. But it's funny, I carried around my inhaler for a couple of years because I thought, you know, this is too good to be true. I'm going to have an asthmatic attack. And I almost died a couple of times with an asthmatic attack, and that is not fun. You're trying to catch your breath and you're passing out and you can't breathe. It's horrible. Who's the gentleman down below? Hi, we haven't, welcome to the meeting. You're on the iPhone with glasses? Hi. You have to
Your
unmute yourself.
microphone's turned off. You're muted. You're
Yeah,
muted.
you have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Let me try again. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
now we hear you. Yeah, hi. Welcome
right,
to
good.
the meeting.
No, thanks. I've been listening, and you have reviewed my records several months ago. And at that time, the ophthalmologist that I was seeing was strongly recommending surgery to deal with 2 or 3 things. And your comment was deal with that, you know, and then see how it goes. Well, I did proceed with the surgery. It was a multi-part where they did the cataract. I had tried your cataract drops prior, and it didn't work for me. So I continued to try to do other things. The surgery was 4 different things they were addressing. The cataract, they put 2 stents in, and then they had another procedure that was something to do with cleaning out the eye's natural drainage. I had a long name, I forget what it was. That's all done behind me now. About 3 months passed. The surgeon said the eye is healed fine. The pressures are well controlled with no drops at this point, but the vision is still very blurry. So I'm asking him, and he says, "Well, you've got other issues going on," and so I'm going to see another ophthalmologist next month, and they're mentioning something called epiretinal membrane with pseudo hold. Does that mean anything to you?
It's a damaged retina. You know, because you have had all that surgery, sometimes the retina becomes distorted and wrinkled and scarred. So I'd have to maybe send me another copy of your records, and hopefully the microcurrent and light therapy, and these things can help get the eye to regenerate. That happens often. You have a surgical procedure, the surgery is successful, but you can't see.
Right. Well, supposedly that epiretinal membrane was there before the surgery, is what they're telling me. So I don't know who to believe or what to believe at this point.
Well, most
So
likely it could have been there, but the surgery aggravated it and made it worse.
possibly, yeah, very possibly. All
That's
right,
what that's what I see a lot of times in cases like yours, where there's prolonged surgery, multiple procedures done.
that it could have a negative impact on the retina.
Right.
So no. All right, I will send you some updated records, and would be appreciative if you could tell me whether you think your protocols might help, because he's now telling me to go see the retina guy, and he says I don't think any surgery is going to help. Any retina surgery is going to help you. So I'm feeling
I
very
know they may
frustrated.
recommend a membrane peeling where they go
I've
in
heard
and
that
peel the
term.
membrane.
Yeah, I've
But
heard
that's
that
a big
term.
operation, but the more surgery you have, the more setup you're going to be for other complications. It's like one operation takes care of one thing, but you develop two other problems.
That's what I'm concerned about. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm concerned about.
So it
All
may
right.
be a good idea just to try to heal it the natural way. It's like your body is or your eyes in the ICU. You've had all this surgery, and we need something to stimulate get some life back into the eye.
No, that's interesting. I'll send you some updates, and then if you could take a look at it again and tell me if you think your protocol might help, because right now it's the vision is still quite blurry. It's like things are clear, but I'm looking through a fog, if that means anything. And so I'm not very happy with the results of the surgeries.
Okay, be happy to take a
All
look
right,
at the
thank
records.
you. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're coming to a close here, and I want to
One
thank all
last
of you.
question about, if we send you our records, do you need just the current visit, or do you need visits over
No, just a current. I
the
want to
current
know
one,
what's
the
going
most
on
recent
right
one?
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody, and
Thank you.
look forward to working with you in the future. And any questions, give Chris a call.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.